I put the spotlight on your city. I put the spotlight on your city. See those superstars. Hollywood to Hollywood. Girl, you look good. Yeah, they hollering, baby. Keep modeling, baby. ATL. I put the spotlight on your city. See those superstars. Hollywood to Hollywood. Girl, you look good. Yeah, they hollering, baby. Keep modeling, baby. ATL. I put the spotlight on your city. See those superstars. Hollywood to Hollywood. Girl, you look good. Yeah, they hollering, baby. Keep modeling, baby. ATL. I put the spotlight on your city. See those superstars. Hollywood to Hollywood. Girl, you look good. Yeah, they hollering, baby. Keep modeling, baby. ATL. I put the spotlight on your city. See those superstars. Hollywood to Hollywood. Girl, you look good. Yeah, they hollering, baby. Keep modeling, baby. ATL. I put the spotlight on your city. See those superstars. Hollywood to Hollywood. Girl, you look good. Yeah, they hollering, baby. Keep modeling, baby. ATL. I put the spotlight on your city. See those superstars. Hollywood to Hollywood. Girl, you look good. Yeah, they hollering, baby. Keep modeling, baby. ATL. I put the spotlight on your city. See those superstars. Hollywood to Hollywood. Girl, you look good. Yeah, they hollering, baby. Keep modeling, baby. ATL. I put the spotlight on your city. Carolina, Philly. I put the spotlight on your city.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spotlight After Dark. I'm your host, Stan Long, along with the lovely Terri T-Bomb Long. We have us a +2 in the building. Yes, a lovely couple. I know you guys have been waiting to hear about this couple. I have been waiting to hear about this couple. They actually shocked us. They're Spotlight family. And I'm going to let Wifey introduce them to you guys.
Y'all want the 411, don't you? I am
y'all
privileged and honored to be able to introduce them.
exclusive.
Yes, it is an
exclusive.
exclusive.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're the first. So I know you guys been waiting, and we're happy to be the people who deliver it to you guys. And so without further ado,
I want you all to help me congratulate the new Mr. and Mrs. Bashea Williams.
Thank you guys for being a part of Spotlight. First of all, you guys are family.
Yes.
And everyone has been pulling at you guys to get this story.
Yes.
And we were honored to be the first. So
Right.
thank
Yes.
you for giving us an exclusive.
Thank you
So,
so much.
So before we get to it, let us individually ask you guys, who are the Williams?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you take it.
I'm my wife. Go first.
Ladies
okay.
first.
Ladies first.
We are aligned by God. That's just the best way to describe how we have come together. It's truly an alignment from God. So when people ask you, who are the Williams? We're fun. We're all about love, black love, branding, professional, all of that. We're like, Bashea came up with a good title for us. Our brand is called The Branded Love. I do the branding, he does the love.
Yeah.
But when you really asking who we are, we're God's alignment.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the title that you guys came up with and
Yeah.
how you put it together. So what would be your take?
Same thing, and I think I want to emphasize that we're so connected in alignment. Alignment is throughout our journey, throughout our story, and it continues to be. From business to love, to friendship, to fun, to money, to everything, success, to helping others, to being connected by God, all those things, it's all about alignment for me. Some things that, part of our story that you would just be like blown away, because we're still blown away talking about it.
Yeah.
And this wasn't like, we didn't come into this thing talking about we're gonna date each other. We came to this professionally, and we held that for a long time until we couldn't fight it anymore. Until God said, listen, I'm showing you who you are.
I'm showing you who he is.
Right.
I'm showing you who she is. Wake up. And just a lot of things that happen down to, we got to talk about the neighbor. Like,
Okay, well, wait.
No, we're about to get into
Wait,
it.
We're about to get
wait a
into
minute. Wait a second.
Okay.
Let me just share that we had both Tara and Bashea on our show not as a couple, but we had a relationship panel in June of 2019.
19.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And at that time, they weren't a couple. So I want you all to tell the story from that point coming forward.
Okay.
Yeah, we were on the show as representing the singles out there, right?
Right.
And we were representing the singles. So we, you know, when you had invited us to come, I was just representing a single woman.
Right.
He was representing a single man, and we had been working together. About 4 months in?
Yeah.
April, May,
From
June.
February.
So he was your client,
I was
Yo,
the
yes,
Tara?
yes.
And how did that come about?
Well, when we had met on a panel that we were both on for a show we did, I did season 1, he did like season 3, and we were on a panel. And then he had heard I did branding and everything, so he had approached me and said, hey, you know, I'd like to know more about what you do. I'm looking for someone to help me with my branding and stuff like that. So I said, okay, well, you know, here's my information. Just, you know, call whenever you're ready. So.
Yeah, absolutely. At that particular time, that's what I needed. I needed my brand to do bigger things. I didn't need to have full control of it. It was overwhelming, trying to run a practice, trying to run my brand, and trying to do all these other things. So we met at that point when I was looking for that. We were sitting on the panel, and she said something that stuck out, and I kind of like raised up, and I said, what? She said, go ahead and say what you said.
The panel got to where they were talking about relationships and the whole theory of women being thirsty. And I said, there's nothing wrong with being thirsty, just don't be parched. Because when you're thirsty, you get to choose what you drink. So if I say I'm thirsty, I say, you know, I may get some water, some juice, or some soda, or some tea.
Bashea.
Anyway,
That's my guy.
when you're thirsty, you get to choose. But when you're parched, you're just so
Desperate.
it's like, yeah,
You take
you're
anything.
desperate. You do anything. And I told a story about that on my live. When I learned the whole meaning of that when I was a little girl. So, you know, it's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with being thirsty, because when you're at that point, you get to choose. When you're parched, you're just like, you'll guzzle down anything.
Take anything.
And that goes in relationships, that goes in life, that goes in business. So you have to be very, you know, conscious of where you are. So
Yeah,
Great
I
point.
agree.
I think
That's a
that's a
great
great
point. Okay, so you all were working together, and the business relationship was going well.
Oh,
Yes, very well.
Yeah.
Like I hired her on that day. A couple days later, that same week, she had me on the red carpet handing my book out to Taraji P. Henson,
Wow.
talking about therapy on the red carpet the first week. So I said instant change, and it was worth it from that point on.
Yeah.
So from there, again, we began working, we continued to work, and it just changed gradually into stuff. I guess we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But that was it.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that gradual.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I just needed to go back because a lot of people will say, "Well, how did they ever even meet?" So we wanted to clear that part
Yeah.
up about
Right.
how you all met first,
Yeah.
and go from there.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're at June 2019. We're doing a relationship panel.
Right.
You all are representing for the singles who are, you know, struggling with their relationship issues.
Right.
After that,
What was that, June?
Yeah,
that was June
June,
2019.
July.
I still was grinding out, getting him opportunities, creating opportunities for him. We were not even in those waters. I was just, and what I really liked, at the end of June, we did an event at Ruth's Chris for his book. It was like this conversation kind of thing. Ruth's Chris sponsored it. It was really nice. And people started saying to him, wow, who's doing your branding? Who's
Right.
doing your like, who's blowing
Putting
you
you
up?
up there, yeah.
You're everywhere. You're doing something all the time. And then right after June, we were in New York,
Yeah.
book signing, an event up there.
And one of the things that stuck out is I said everybody needs a Tara in their life in
Yes.
her video.
That's what it was.
Everybody and
Yes.
everybody's like, who is that? And I was like, that's my brand manager. They was like, nah, y'all go together. I was like, nah, we're not messing around. We're not
No.
talking. We're not doing anything.
Nothing.
I got a good friend of ours said, bro, that's your wife.
Really?
And I was like, nah, I'm just going to keep it focused.
Yeah.
Just going to keep it focused because I don't want to ruin anything that we're building now because I want to continue to grow and blossom and not get in the way of business and the relationship and the friendship that we're creating.
Yeah.
So you never during that time, Tara, I mean, he's your client, but you never looked at him like, damn, he kind of cute. He kind of fine.
You know, the only time I had that thought in my mind is like, oh, we're going to do this because I know the ladies are going to love it.
Okay.
It was more of
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we did photo shoots, put him in this suit because I know the ladies are going to love it.
And what would you say? I'm gonna pimp you out.
I'm gonna pimp you out.
That's what she was saying.
That's right. That's right. That's a good damn brand manager.
Right.
We're gonna sell those books, get you this exposure, and I'm gonna pimp you out.
That's right.
And I remember, when we would go to different events, I said, be sure with whomever you're talking to, because one thing Bashea was very conscious of, he was like, I never want to give anybody the wrong idea or the wrong impression or the wrong, because people misinterpret things and they create their own story in their head. And I said, well, no, I said, when you're at these events, I need you looking at these women in their eyes, thanking them for their purchase, telling them, hey, let's buy 2, share it with a friend. Because one thing I did do before I decided to work with Bashea was read his book. Because I really wanted to make sure that this is something I could believe in and support.
Right.
Because I'm not going to be a part of any foolishness. I don't
Exactly.
care. At any, because it's still my brand too. So I read his book probably like in 3 nights. And oh my gosh, hey, what's up, Spotlight fam? What was so powerful about the book is that he has these sections in the book for perspective where you have to write out and give feedback based on what the letter said and this, that, yeah. And as I was writing it, I was like, ouch. Like, I had to keep it real with myself.
With yourself.
And I was like,
okay.
Oh yeah, that excited about sure that I'm gonna be able to do be able to produce, and I hadn't done it, so I don't,
What another?
Who came to who? Who said, you know what, I'm feeling you.
So it was 2 things for me that kind of stuck
Now
out.
answer the I actually brought.
My brand manager was genuine. I was supposed to be getting.
We were doing it all.
playing.
It's all big guys, so I was like, I wanted to. We got to get this be at this weight.
Right.
So no Popeye
So,
chicken sandwiches
I
for
didn't
you,
even tell her.
sir.
She didn't know what my diet was. It was just
Okay.
like, I'm going to just show up. I know what I can do. So
Okay.
I went and I tried it, right? And so I was just like, I just want to have a bite of it. And it was really good. So I told her, I was like, that Popeye chicken is real good. And she just got quiet.
She was mad.
Yeah, you done messed around and told me. You should have said my man said.
But she got real quiet. And
I was like,
and then she was like, you ain't serious. And I was just like, whatever. It was like, I just took a bite. I ain't even eat the whole thing. So I was like, I'm good. But then that night, I couldn't sleep. Like, I felt like I disappointed my best friend. I felt like I disappointed somebody that's really invested in me, that really cares about me. And I looked, and also when I threw that sandwich out, I also was like, dang, I'm throwing out this whole sandwich. She's
There's something
important.
going on.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm choosing her over this Popeye sandwich right now.
Right. So that was, and then when we were into his 50th birthday party, and we were hanging out, and it was a good time.
You all went to the party together?
We went to the party together. I invited her to the party.
Me and one of my homegirls met him and his best friend there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we went there, and then as we were just vibing, I started to feel something else. But I said to her, I said, you know what? I'm starting to feel attracted to you, but I want to hold back. I don't want this. I don't want us to casually go into this thing. I want us to come back into business and be more professional. I just want to let you know there is an interest, but I'm not pursuing that right now.
Okay.
And that's what it was. What?
Yeah,
you got
no.
Wait a minute now. Is that how this
But
went down?
she thought that I was trying to feel things out. I wasn't.
To see if she...
I was being honest, transparent, and just like, listen, I'm feeling something, but I'm pulling back. So I want you to know that that's what it is.
And I think 2 things. The first thing I said to him, I said, I don't think you work for me. Like that wouldn't work for me. And 2 things that stood out, because like even Bashea is my client, it was 2 things. When he first wanted to work together, he was moving slow on responding and getting back to me. And I said, I always give people 3 days. I'm gonna send you the contract 3 days. If you don't get back, I'm done.
Right.
Until you're ready.
Right.
And it was the 3rd day, and he had called, and I said, he was like, yeah, I know. So I said, you're Bojangling. And I said, anybody that I work with, the response time has to be at a certain thing, and if you're not serious, then you're not ready for me.
I love
And so
That ain't what happened.
that's what happened. Then he got
You
that
sent me
contract to me, and 15 minutes later.
I bet he did.
She sent me a second message the next week. You said you Bojangling in the message the next week. You followed up, and I was like, I was already doing TV stuff, and I was just like, do I really want to invest in
Not
that?
to the level up to.
There yet. I wasn't there
And
yet.
back to Stan's question, bottom line was that I thought about that when he had come to me. And then the second thing was the Popeye sandwich. Because I'm like this, if you can't resist temptation on a chicken sandwich,
then
It's
you might not
Popeyes,
be
though.
ready.
you're not, and it wasn't so much be ready for
like how she
me,
thinks.
but it was
Right.
just different things I watched him do in different ways he maneuvered, and not to hold just those 2 instances against him, but I already knew who I was and what I wanted the next time I decided to be in a relationship, and that he wasn't that at that moment.
Okay.
And I wasn't trying to be that, and that was the biggest thing.
And that's honesty.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So then, fast forward a little bit forward. How did it finally materialize?
So at that point, you knew that he liked you.
Yeah, I knew he kind of.
Did you like him? Or you was like, no, that's not mine.
I think in my head I was. What's
Look at him like,
Because there's 2 of her
Can I
friends probably
finish?
watching and
Can I
probably can tell a different
finish?
side of
Can
it.
I finish?
Okay.
I liked Bashea, but one thing I'm never gonna get feelings confused with finances.
I know that's right.
And I you know, I appreciated the fact that he spoke up, and I liked Bashea, and I liked the friendship that we had. Was I ready for it to cross over? I just know. No, I
Not
wasn't.
at that time.
So, you know, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But we still about to do work and get this money. Like, that ain't going to cause any confusion, not for me. And I'm not caught up in la la land trying to find a man. So it's, you know, because I had some girlfriends like, girl, for real. Da, 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 da. Like, yeah, but he ain't ready for me. I ain't ready for him.
Right. And one of the things I said too was at a particular time that I wasn't going to date until after my birthday. And I told her. And this was probably like June, July, and my birthday's in September. And I said, I'm not dating anyone until after my birthday. And she was like, well, I might not be around. I said, okay. That was
That's
it.
the chance you're willing to take.
Because I knew what I needed to do.
Okay. And so after your birthday,
Yeah.
so now we're in September.
So wait, I want to tell this story. After, it was like, okay, so and it's so sort about what would it, and I was. Because if that's what it's supposed to be.
Other details too, like whenever I was like, I'm not in the right spot. Like my body would tell me, what would it look like? I'm not asking you, let's talk about it because I need to make sure everything is clear before I pursue you.
Fasting and prayer for 7 days, God revealed to me 3 things. We
got to talk about how you said we want to fast together.
Yes, and this is key. I was like, well, let's fast together. But then I was so out of the fast.
I was like, what we doing today?
Yeah, he's like, what we doing today? I was like, don't eat till 6. But it was just, it was, for me, I think I was so in tune with I was communicating with God. And so he was just like, you know what, go and do your own thing. And so I fasted till 7 days, and then we were, we went to dinner. Where was that, Atlanta?
I think we were in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Sister Circle.
Sister Circle.
I was in the Sister Circle.
We went out to dinner that night before Sister Circle, and I said, you know, God revealed to me 3 things, and you're not ready for me, and I'm not at a place where we should move forward in being exclusive.
And now I was in the same spot because I said I needed to fast too. So I need, because the 3 things to me were conversations. They weren't like, no, they were conversations. So I said I needed to fast because I've had previous experiences where when those things were just conversations, but we weren't mature enough to have them. So I said I need to have these, do my 7 days, and then we can come back and talk about it.
It's just a conversation. I just think it was, okay, you need some time to heal on some things and time to do whatever. And so, when I told him not yet, God, that was the moment God said to me, that's your husband.
Wow. When you told him.
Yeah. So I think a lot of everything, you have to be in this not yet.
Yep.
You can't be afraid to say no.
Yep.
You know, because you're so parched to have this relationship with this man, you put up with so much stuff and wondering why you keep in there. At that moment, I was like, yeah, you know. And right after I said no, I had no fear in that. We may never have talked again. But God said at that moment, that's your husband. Then thank you, God, for getting him ready for me.
So first of all, the God base. My love for God, I see how you two are easily a match. So we're coming. Right? I just believe that based on what you're telling me right this second.
Thank you.
And so I see where you guys, most people don't fast, period.
Yeah.
They don't see the need unless they in a church fast or this that. No disrespect. But I see you guys share a kinetic. Both say, let's go. You know.
We can just understand. So one, I would get Chinese import release. A woman. Like things that I paid attention to that I knew I needed in a marriage and all that. So we knew where we were grounded. I would spend time out with them because I knew I needed to do some things too.
anybody else.
Say it
You
again.
both knew
That
your
is-
worth. You can't tell
Exactly.
So you knew, and you also knew. So you both were
So
worthy
important.
of each
Yeah.
other. That's
Yeah.
very important.
The other
That's what we
important
say.
thing-
That's how God aligned that and coming into that space. And after Bashea's 7-day fast and we came back together, he was like, you know, we both
Yeah.
agreed, okay, let's be exclusive.
Let's be
But let
exclusive.
me jump back a couple.
Yeah.
Went over to his house for dinner, and he was cooking dinner, and I was just like watching TV or whatever. Wait, and he said to me, Cash, he said, "Are you dating other people still?" And I was like, "This was so let me take that back. This was a few days before he asked me about being exclusive.
Okay.
So let me go there. So he was like, "Are you dating other people?" So I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You dating other people? He's gonna be us or just other people?" And I was like, "Aren't you?" He was like, he's like, "Oh." And then when we went to lunch that day, he asked me about being exclusive. He did go back. He said, "You know, the other day when I asked you if you were dating other people," he's like, I never.
I mean, like I said, it was ego trying to battle God. It wasn't.
You
It just
know?
wasn't working.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
wasn't working.
Yeah.
Anything that I was trying to do, whether I was saying that I'm good, she dating other people, I'm dating other people, I'm good. I know I really wasn't.
You wasn't.
I wasn't. My body was literally, the spirit was really telling me, nah,
You're not
chill
good.
out, cut
Wow.
everything out. Yeah.
Wow, and it's so important to be true to yourself when you know what you want, right? And so, like you, I had been through a lot of stuff before
Yeah.
I met Stan.
Yeah.
And our story is a little different. I'm not going to tell mine because today is not the day, but I just wanted to say how important it is to be honest, because the one thing that I was honest about with him in the beginning, and you're going to be like, "Terry, you did what?" He said to me, he told me up front how important God was in his life. And at that point, I can willingly admit now that I wasn't into God and reading and all of those things like I should have been when I met this man. I wouldn't be where I am today if he hadn't shown me the right way, shined the light on me. But I say that to say that the first thing he asked me, he said, "Do a 30-day challenge with me." He didn't know me for about maybe 60 days. We hadn't seen each other, hadn't been on a date.
Just
We were just
testing
on
the waters. I wanted
testing
to
the
read it.
waters.
I wanted her
And
to
he
read
said,
it.
he said, "You read something for 30 minutes, spiritual, of your choice, for
30 days,
days.
30 minutes, whatever
I
you
said,
choose.
"Nah, I'm cool on that. I don't want to do that."
And I thought she was the devil.
Yes. But
I said,
told
I
him-
gotta get away from this crazy girl right here.
This is
She
what
doesn't
happened
have no
because
ground. She's not grounded.
I knew that I wasn't going to do it in that where I was in that space. I knew that I'm not going to commit to doing that, and I'm not going to lie to him. I need him to get the real deal up on truth.
Yes.
I may evolve over time, losing him
Yeah.
because I wanted to be honest, and
Yeah.
I wanted to give him my true, authentic self.
The time for faking is over.
It's over.
Yeah,
Because
once you get a
be who
certain
you
age,
are.
you gotta know who you
Be
are.
who you are.
I really want to be an example even for this younger generation.
Yes, we have to.
The faking to keep a man, the faking to get a girl, all of that, everything
too
that
hard.
I
It's
see,
too hard.
everything that I see, especially with the younger generation, is all about what I'm giving and getting, what I'm giving and getting. I never hear any of these young people, especially the pop ones, talking about how much they love their girl and what they love about her. And never hear the woman saying that same thing.
Nope.
But I hear saying, "I got a Maybach for my birthday," or I got a
Birkin,
Ferrari
or I
truck,
got-
a Lamborghini truck for this. It's like, it's never about love.
Right.
And I know that has been distorted over time because of just music and different things.
Different things.
And I'm old school, so we'll be in the kitchen cooking, listening to Teddy P.
Yeah,
It's like, just,
That's us.
that's the music. The music has
Yeah.
such an influence over me, even when it comes to love. Like our wedding song was Teddy Pendergrass's latest greatest inspiration.
Yes.
And that the words and the lyrics, and then when you listen to today and you see the actions of the young people today, I just want them to see love.
Yes.
Now there is a group, millennials and on, that are getting married earlier, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like it's all about the show.
The show.
It's all about the
What about
How
putting
much
in the
for the
work?
wedding?
I
How
got to
much
do this
my
event. I got
gown,
to shower. It's all about that, and the love is lost. We just want to. Bashea said a very profound statement to me the other night about God and what He's doing with love and Black love. So remember when you said kingdom love exists?
Oh, I don't remember. I said, kingdom love exists. something.
He
about
said,
it. I don't know.
kingdom love exists and God is revealing its witnesses.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And
Say it again.
That is so true because I know for a fact God brought us together. And God did it in such a way that we could not deny it. And we were patient. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No, I just wanna make sure how we look.
And we're patient. So, you know, meeting Bashea through work is why I really believe that I gave him an opportunity. Because I was in a place before I met Bashea, I was resigned to being single. I was like, I'm just gonna be single the rest of my life. Like,
You was cool with that?
I was like that for a year.
Yeah.
And then God was saying, you have a lot to give. And he would say that through different people and my girlfriends and things. So I was like, you know what? I do have a lot to give. But if I'm going to give it to someone, I'm going to give it to them as their wife.
Yes.
Not as a girlfriend, not as a boo thing, not as
Right.
anything but a wife.
A wife.
So I remember, I don't want to give all the stuff away, but
Well, it's an exclusive.
I created a vision board. Can I talk about that?
I mean, it's your event. You got an
You're here on
event.
Spotlight. You gotta lay it out now.
I created a vision board for my husband, my purpose, and my business. And the vision board just had words on it. And a girlfriend of mine was like, where are your pictures at? You don't have no wedding dress? I didn't have anything about a wedding. I didn't have anything. I had 8 words.
Wow.
And it said, my husband is, and it had 8 words. And I would go to that vision board every day and speak it out. Because I'm a firm believer, and shout out to Unica, who's a really good friend of ours. When you speak things into existence, they happen. And she brought to my attention that God said is in Genesis 10 times. And every time God said something, something was created.
Yes.
So if I'm going to my vision board, I'm going to speak it out. And that's what I did. And every single thing that
You put on there.
It was in my wedding vows, my 8 words. Bashea was those 8 words, and I included them in my wedding vows. But also, everything that I asked God for, I was doing for Bashea. Because I asked God to give me a husband where I could be a wife that elevates, loves, honors, respects my husband to the next level. And then I put a date on it. And
So you was specific.
Oh, I was very specific. And just sidebar, I'm doing a Design Your Destiny vision board event. And that's what I really want to share with these women that are calling me, these men that are reaching out to Bashea. You can design your destiny, but it has to be aligned with God.
Yes.
I promise you.
Yes.
That's where Nipsey, shout out to Nip and RIP to Nip. One thing about Nip that I listen to Nipsey Hussle a lot. And one of the things in his songs that he said was, you can have it all. It's all about your reason.
Yeah.
And so what I'm learning is, it's like lining up with God. Depending on your rationale, why are you trying to accomplish those things, it can happen or not happen. And so I like to say, speak what you seek until you see what you say. That just simply means what you just said. Speak it enough that it produces.
Yes.
You only speak what you want to produce.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing you guys doing something that's unified. And the reason why I'm excited about what you guys are doing is because you're showing the world unity, even when it's not long-term unity. You guys came in unified, is what I'm saying. Like, you didn't have to learn how to become a unit.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys learned how to be whole separately, and then
Right.
came in and became.
Right.
And the wonderful thing I really appreciated, Bashea and I were in a consensus on this, is that this is about us, not about the world.
Yes.
And that's why we chose to
To keep it private, because you know I was getting to that. I was like,
Yeah.
listen here, honey. I had no idea in June 2019 when I saw the picture. I was super excited, but tell us
Yeah, so
why
how did that happen? How did you
how
guys
you kept us in the dark.
keep it so under wraps to where no one kind of knew unless they were probably in you guys' immediate
circle.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of times for me, just dating, you know what I do, the Dear Future Wife stuff. I talk about relationships. I talk about the things that, how to help relationships. I've helped hundreds, thousands of relationships, be successful or really understand themselves. And whenever I would date, people would automatically want to post. People want to automatically say, this is who I'm dating. This is our relationship. I'm getting this stuff. And I was just like, it's not about us. It's about what the brand looks like. And so anytime anybody had any conversation about when we posting, I was like, you're not the one.
You're not
like,
the
let's
one.
build before we even reveal, because we don't want people to have access to our relationship.
Let's build
Right.
before we reveal. I like that.
And so we talked about that, and it was
I was
just
like,
so
I don't-
calm. Like,
yeah.
it was no discussion. We was already on the same page.
Yeah.
And we we prayed about it. And it was just like, all right, it's not about anybody else. Let's just build this thing. Nobody needs to have access. Nobody's words are on our relationship. No
Yeah.
judgment, and all of that. We just built.
And
I
not
like
that it
that a
would
lot.
have mattered if they were how anybody ever felt, but I just knew that we had this peace, this peace, and I ain't out here for a show.
Right.
I'm not out here trying to show y'all, and we post now different things, but I even said to Bashea, like, even when we were dating her, he would come to my house because as we were discussing earlier, I told Bashea, I was like, the next man that is in my bed is my husband.
I know that's right.
The next man
clank, clank, locked.
that I make love with is my husband.
That's
We
right.
we did
Oh,
not
yeah.
have sex until our wedding night, and I was very keen. He would come over, and he lived an hour away, and if we were hanging out a week, he slept in the guest room.
You live an hour away,
I lived in.
He lived-
and you would go
Gaithersburg
and
at the
sleep in the
time.
guest room after driving an hour.
Yeah.
I know
And
that's
I
right.
That's
remember,
respect.
That's right. I
You know
love
what? One we were getting ready to go to bed, and he was in the guest room, and he came to the door one night. I was like, I was like, this is holy ground.
And
Like,
and I
coming
wasn't
in
coming
here,
in to do nothing.
he
And
wasn't
it was
coming to do
funny because
nothing.
she went to the bathroom and I went because she said the next man in my bed gonna be my husband. She went in the bathroom. I went in and I jumped all in the bed. Wrap myself
You're
up
like, 'cause I'm
get
gonna be
right.
the
I said, I'll be here soon. I'm
Let me
claiming
let
this
this man
spot.
know. Look,
I'm
I'll be
claiming
right
this
back.
spot.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think
I love it.
understanding the value of not having sex before marriage not only is because what God wants. We had to communicate on a different level if anything happened. So during COVID, Bashea had expressed, hey, I don't want us to be apart. I want us to be together during COVID.
Yeah.
So like he had said, he shut his office down. I had an office at the house. He was doing all his therapy and everything, his clients and things at home. And we were around each other all the time. And we did not
Still
do that.
didn't.
And what I really honored about that and respected is like, I was like, I'm not gonna, I always picture myself. I remember a long time ago when I decided not to have sex, somebody said to me, well, aren't you worried? And I was in a different relationship at the time. Aren't you worried that
you
your
won't
man
like
gonna
it?
cheat on you
Oh.
and your man gonna get somebody else? I was like, I'm more concerned and picture myself standing before God trying to explain to him why I fornicated as opposed to staying true to him.
And I didn't want
'Cause-
this relationship to look like any relationship I've ever
Yeah.
had before.
You needed
Yeah.
to be
So
different.
I had to operate different.
You had to do
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah, I had to operate different. I had to honor God. Like previously, my body was telling me something. I wake up feeling guilty. Shout out to Aaron on here. We used to talk about that. I was just like, man, okay, it was a moment previously, but it's just not right. And I'm trying to convince myself this is who the person I'm supposed to be with, but they weren't. They weren't.
And Bashea said something to me very important. He was like, we have to stay on our path because we cannot ruin anything that God has for us.
That's right.
You know, those temporary whatever, you know what I mean? So shout out to the guest room in the house.
Yes. Yes. Shout
You
out
know
to
what
the
though,
guest
and
room.
shout out to
I got
see,
goosebumps.
so that's what I mean by being rooted and grounded. You guys had a certain fear for God that you didn't want to break a covenant that you guys were
Yeah.
about to
Right.
put together
Yeah.
before you get
Right.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's again unified. You say we both.
Yeah.
Both. Every time we both. So I think it's very important. The communication
Yeah.
was very effective with you two. We kind of had problems when we first got together with communicating because Terry doesn't communicate well. So we was having some tough times
That's
with
true.
that. But overall, we still had a great situation because we really were friends first. So we could
Yep.
always kind of weed past some of what
Yeah.
we would go through. And you guys are really helping us, me personally, by being on this show today because I'm hearing a lot of things that I can do differently myself personally in this relationship, like pray with my wife, stuff like that. I pray with my wife, but we pray together, but not the way I know as a leader, a head of home. It's the way I should lead differently. So I hear a lot of things that can help us without you even saying it. So I thank you guys for being a part of Spotlight today. Anything that you're telling us, we got to wrap.
Okay.
But
Well,
is there
I
anything?
want to say this
Is there
one last
anything
thing.
you guys want to get out of there before we let you go?
One thing I want to say, not only do we pray together every morning, we anoint one another. And we anoint our minds, our mouths, and our tongues. Literally, I'll be like, baby, I gotta, we do that with one another because we have to protect what we're going to be saying to each other throughout the day. And I'm going to tell you, that makes a world of difference. That anointing one another has really, it's just so, if you're praying, you pray and you anoint. And it covers.
So no arguments.
I love it.
So far, no arguments.
I mean, we have our spats, but it's nothing worth,
it's
the
discussion.
ending of anything. It's a
discussion.
conversation.
Yeah.
We both go to our places. We're like, we don't want to talk for a little bit, but we come back.
Yeah.
Right.
We understand
And
that.
that's
That's
real,
normal.
right.
That's
But
real.
that's what I
And
mean
that's
by good
real.
communication.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like not right now, and then we'll revisit it when we both.
And we come back laughing like we such good friends that we laugh about the stuff we argue about.
Yeah. And
And we know
Bashea-
each other's ways.
Yeah, and Bashea has taught me how to communicate. I was a terrible communicator,
Yeah.
so I get it. I
I've
was
had
the
to
ice
learn.
queen. I would shut everything
Ice.
out, not
Shut
deal
it.
with anybody. And
So she's learning.
he showed me how to do that. But thank you all for having us. Stay
Yes,
connected with us on, I'm at Targates Williams on IG.
Bashea Williams, of course.
You all have
Yeah.
any fun things coming
Yeah,
up?
what's coming up? Let them know.
Anything that you all
wanna
can tell?
Get people involved in.
Well, October 10th, I'm doing the Vision Board event.
Okay.
Sign up. Go to the link on my Instagram. It's bit.ly/DYD2021.
And I'm releasing the second edition of Dear Future Wife on October 9th.
Yeah.
Everybody on here will get an exclusive, be able to buy it online for a special price for like 2 days.
Yay.
So please go get that. I'm gonna make an announcement and show y'all what the difference is.
Spotlight over the city.